Hey, what's going on people? It's SGZ here from the SpartanGameZone, and in this video we'll be counting down the top 10 legendary weapons manufactured by Torgue in Borderlands 3. These are the guns that go explosion noise made by Guitar Riff Man, and today I'll be letting you know who you should farm to get one, what they do, and how you can use them to get them hitting their hardest. Tomorrow we'll be counting down the top 10 legendary shields in the entire game. We're going all in, so do keep an eye out for that. And do make sure to let me know what weapon brand we should cover next. If you enjoyed the video, I'd appreciate it if you could drop a like and...
Ring! You don't want to hear about that, Vault Hunter! You want to hear about loot and packs and explosions! I'm Torgue, and I'm here to ask you one question, and one question only. Explosions?
We open this countdown of the top 10 legendary weapons crafted by Mr Torgue with the Juliet's Dazzle, an assault rifle which can come in both cryo and non-elemental, and other than dropping from the Melee 1 takedown bosses, can also be dropped by Aurelia, found around here in Black Barrel cellars, but only if you're on Mayhem 4 or higher. Juliet was Mr Torgue's estranged lover who dazzled him with her brilliance, or maybe I don't think so. It's a gun that fires sparkling projectiles that will travel right through your enemies and ricochet off world surfaces up to 3 times. That means a single bullet often hits more than one thing, and it's great whenever you can line your enemies up. The weird thing is that it does deal splash damage, which is what you'd expect from Torgue, but not really from this one. That means you can use it like a regular assault rifle and get the benefits that splash damage weapons provide. To add to that, it also automatically refills your magazine on kill, which helps keep the glitter party going. Next up, the Tunguska, a Torgue launcher that I feel is super underrated. It's non-elemental and has an increased chance to drop from mincemeat you find around here in the droughts as part of the quest Skag Dog Days. The Tunguska comes packed with much more firepower than you can see at face value, firing small explosive projectiles which reveal a hidden force upon detonation. When its projectiles explode, a cluster of small rockets burst into the sky and detonate, doing some real heavy damage. If you want the most bang for your buck, you'll want to use its sticky mode, which not only has a quicker fire rate but also greater damage potential. It's one of few rocket launchers that consume just the 1 ammo per shot, although you can get a ×2 variant. The ×2 variant is definitely its best, obliterating bad guys with a couple of rounds, and it even holds its own against bosses. At number 8 is the Tig's Boom, an elemental shotgun that can only be dropped by Wotan at the end of the Melee 1 takedown. Every successful shot from the Tig's Boom opens up the sky as a trio of elementally charged meteors crash down. The meteors deal splash damage and cover a wide area on impact, with its pellet count being directly linked to the chance for a meteor to spawn, so the higher the better. It's easily one of the most awe-inspiring guns to wield. It's not often that you can feel like Zeus, summoning material from the heavens, although you'll be calling upon meteors instead of lightning bolts. Perhaps the lesser known Greek god of meteors is called Tiggs and this was his gun. We'll never know. If it is, however, he has good taste. Now for the Critical Thug, another shotgun. This one can't come in an element and is exclusive to Arms Race, with an increased chance to drop from this chest. The Critical Thug combines the Torgue trait of explosions with the Jacob's backbone of high critical damage and ricocheting projectiles. It's common knowledge that, like adding ketchup on fries, adding explosions to things just makes them better. Each time you land a successful hit, its projectile will stick to your target and ricochet to another, resulting in 2 deadly blasts that can decimate a pack. It supports a massive 200% critical damage boost at a wide radius with some serious one-shot potential, especially if you get a ×2 variant, although they're hard to come by. We're at number 6 with the craps, and I'm not talking about the next morning after a hot curry, or the dice game for that matter. The Craps is a Torgue pistol exclusive to DLC 1, which can come in all available flavours and has an increased chance to drop from Jackpot, who you fight in the VIP tower. The Craps may look like an ordinary pistol at first, but it's far from it. Each shot has a small chance to produce 5 times the original amount of projectiles. They're fired in a circle, and when they all hit, its damage skyrockets. You can rely on that to happen once in a standard magazine, and it comes in both sticky and impact modes. It's a good choice weapon for Moes or even Flak, who can double any multi-palleted rounds. At the midway point now, and it's Dirty Harry, or the Unkempt Herald, a DLC 3 weapon which can come in every element including non-elemental, and has an increased chance to drop from Cabadord, who you fight around here, and Bloodsun Canyon. The Unkempt Herald is a gun that you can't keep hold of. It fires a number of explosive projectiles which grow apart during flight, and when they all converge in the right place, it can do some serious work. That right place is in close to medium ranges, and you may need to get a feel for it first, but once you have, you can use it to blast your way through your opponents. If you like explosions, then this is the gun for you, incredibly well suited to Moes, or anyone who likes things that make booms. Numero 40, and it's the Red Line, a shotgun that really revs it up, which can come in any of the available elements and can only be dropped by Road Dog, who you fight around here in the Splinterlands. The Red Line didn't start out as a shotgun. I hear it's the engine from Mr Torgue's old hot rod, specially modified to fire explosive projectiles. As you hold down the trigger, you can hear its engine rev up before it unleashes shot after shot in quick succession. Each round contains 4 explosive pellets, which can really bring the pain. It's a top choice shotgun on Moes, with its impact mode serving great against hordes of enemies, and its sticky mode specifically designed to drop the toughest of bosses. Now for the Lob, an elemental shotgun that can only be dropped by Graveward, who you fight in the floating tomb on Eden 6. The Lob is a gun that screams it was made by Maliwan, but that's not the case, and because of that, you get high base damage, no charge time, and the great elemental strength. Each tap of the trigger produces a slow moving sphere, which is supercharged with its element. The orbs do damage when near enemies and will travel through them, upping its collateral damage. It's a great shotgun, best suited to mobbing with its large magazine size and nice fire rate, highlighting all it has to offer. Today, the silver medal goes to the Prompt Critical, an explosive handgun from DLC 4 that can come in all available elements and has an increased chance to drop from the Lava is Rising. You fight here in Castle Crimson. The Prompt Critical promptly deals critical levels of damage, firing multiple explosive projectiles per shot, either 3 or 4 depending on the variant, with times 3 being the best. That's because of how its sticky mode functions, causing a large secondary explosion whenever you trigger its reload. The damage caused is relative to the amount of stickies applied, and it'll easily blast through whatever health remains. Like a lot of these guns, it's a top choice weapon on Moes, but all Vault Hunters can cause some serious damage with it in their hands. Before number 1 is revealed, let's cover some honourable mentions. First up, it's the Contained Blast, an AR exclusive to DLC 3, which has an increased chance to drop from Abadoxus, who you fight here in Ashfall Peaks. The Contained Blast is your typical semi-automatic assault rifle, but instead it fires explosives. It fires a large number of projectiles per shot, of which one will stick to your target and the rest will explode on impact. The projectiles are a little like the Ogres in that they don't come out straight, making it better when used in medium ranges. It typically comes with a double penetrating prefix consuming 2 ammo per shot, but you can even bypass that and fire even more projectiles at the cost of 3 ammo per shot. It's a solid gun all round, able to dish out some respectable amounts of damage. Now another assault rifle, this one's the Lovable Rogue, which belongs to DLC 4, can only come in shock, and has an increased chance to drop from Evil Brick, who you fight around here in Castle Crimson. The Lovable Rogue is similar to the Contained Blast, but different enough. It's fully automatic, firing single projectiles which have higher base damage. It fires electrically charged gyro jets that have a chance to spawn homing rockets that circle around for another hit. When its sticky projectiles explode, they do so with force, blowing apart not only the enemy they're stuck to, but anyone standing nearby. Now for the last honourable mention, and it's the Moonfire, an amp shot pistol that can come in all the flavours, and can only be found by defeating Wotan, the final boss of the Maliwan takedown. Although made by Torgue, the Moonfire has nothing to do with explosions or fire or the moon, but hey, we're here. It's a single shot pistol more closely attuned with Jacob's, although it bears the Torgue stamp. It fires slowly but deals heavy damage, and that damage is amplified every third shot as they hold double the power. The amp shots are incredibly deadly, especially if you hit them in the head, able to blow it clean off. It supports a nice critical bonus which helps raise its one-shot potential, and if you're accurate, you can get a lot out of this gun. Look at this, it's number 1, and it's the Plague Bearer, an elemental launcher that can either be obtained from the Guardian takedown bosses like all Mayhem 6+ weapons, or from the Warden who you fight around here in the Anvil. The Plague Bearer fires elemental death spheres which are circled by an army of miniature orbs. The orbs break off during flight and target any close contact enemies, dealing mountains of damage. It's an absolute beast when it comes to mobbing, able to easily tear apart straight through hordes of the toughest enemies. Not only does the main projectile do damage and all that accompany it, but on impact it'll result in a singularity which sucks your enemies in, and unleashes a further swarm which hunts down their prey. However, it does consume 3 bullets per shot, and it must be charged before it can be fired, but each shot is worth its weight in gold. So that's all for this video. I hope you enjoyed it and learned of the top 10 legendary Torgue weapons in Borderlands 3. If you did, consider dropping a like or subscribing, and I'll catch you in the next one.